It can take around 18 to 254 days for someone to form a new habit, and around 66 days for that habit to become automatic. So what are habits? Habits are a routine of behaviours that are repeated and tend to occur subconsciously over time. So if we have end goals, whether it be fat loss, whether it be muscle building, how can we ensure that we have habits in place that allow us to achieve those goals? And what do we need to do day in, day out that allow us to smash our targets? Here we have the trusty whiteboard out, and you can see it marked in a week view. We've got goals at the top and we've got habits to the left. The goals can be specific, so you can have your main goal here as a reminder every week if you're using a whiteboard, or if you've got it typed on paper, that's up to you. Or you can have a week goal or a month goal, but you could argue that if it's a week goal, then your habits are probably going to be your goals as well. So I normally recommend between 3 and 5 daily habits, and we also want to make sure that those habits are realistic and sustainable. So normally when people just start off the bat, they go into these crazy habits that they'll never manage in the first week, and all they're going to do is feel down and guilty, and they're not going to be able to tick this off. Remember, this is only a whiteboard, right? It's not the hierarchy, so this can be manipulated and adjusted to suit. So let's pick 5 habits. So here I've marked down 5 habits that I normally see when people are checking in with myself. So we've got hydrate, eat fruit and veg, exercise, spend time with family, and time for me. So although these are great and people are showing initiative, they're not very precise, and the one problem you have with this is, because they're not precise, we don't really know when we're doing well and when we're not really. So hydrate, how much? Eat fruit and veg, how much? Exercise, again, how much? This is the same thing. Everything here is going to be, or you're going to be asking yourself that question. What I would recommend is you be a little bit more specific and then take it from there. So what I've did now is I've taken the previous habits and made them a little bit more specific. Now remember, this will all change from person to person. So just an example, we have drink 2 to 2.5 litres of water, eat 2 cups of fruit and veg, exercise 10 to 60 minutes, 60 minutes family time, and read 10 pages of my book. So what we do from here now is, now we have this, we start to tick these off as the week goes on. Really, really simple. So as you can see, I've ticked some of these habits off, and I've also left spaces in between as well. So some of you maybe look at this, and if this is your own, maybe disheartened, the fact that you've not filled all these in, I would look at this 2 ways. One, either the habit you have put in place is unrealistic and unsustainable, and you need to pull it back a little bit to make sure that you hit it daily. Or you can look at it another way and think, well, what were you doing the week before? Was what you were doing the week before better than this? Probably not, because you have to remember, you've now got all these ticks that are along here. So say you get to next week and you hit Tuesday in your water, you hit Sunday in your water, your veg intake 7 days, you exercise 4 times, you know, your family time was 7 days, and you were reading 5 days. So taking the week before and feeling disheartened, but then if we keep progressing forward, you're making these small changes as the weeks go on. So to keep it really, really simple, if you find that when you're doing it, you're hardly touching it, it's unrealistic and you're not ready for it yet, all right? So it's not sustainable. So we have to get rid of it, and you have to change it to something else that's going to be more realistic and matches your current place and time, okay? That's going to be majorly important. So what happens when you have ticked off every single box? Congratulations, these are all being done subconsciously, Arguably, you don't really have to think about them anymore, and you have now formed a new habit. And this is great because what we do now is we wipe all this out, and things like your water, I wouldn't add that back in ever again. Things like your fruit and veg, don't add that back in either. You can make these habits now a little bit more challenging, because what you're doing now is you've now progressed to later stages. So you could argue that you're getting closer to your goal. You're not beginner anymore. And as you get more to this stage, you're now becoming more of an intermediate and then more advanced as that time goes on. So what happens when you tick all of these off? Congratulations, you can give yourself a pat on the back because you have officially smashed your habits, and arguably they have now become a subconscious act, so you don't really have to think much about them anymore. So what do you do next? Well, you clean all your boards and you clean this part and you change those habits to potentially something that may be a little bit more challenging but allows you to progress further. And that's how you simply work it. If, again, I'll repeat, if you're not marking it out, they're unrealistic and unsustainable, wipe it out, form a new habit, write down a new habit and go again. Or if you smash them all and you don't have to think about it anymore, you can take it one away and write in something new. You can have something new here. You can have your old habit, it doesn't matter. You know, this is the thing. This is your habit board to do anything you want with it. So you can make these sustainable or unsustainable, and you can make yourself feel fantastic or you can make yourself feel guilty. That's up to you. But just remember though, you've got one main goal up here, and all these wee small things you're doing day in, day out will all contribute towards that main goal. If you're putting things in here that are unsustainable, then you're going to be further away from that end goal a long time. You know, as I always say to people, it's not just about the main goal, and when you get there, it's about the process that it took to get there. It's all these wee small wins you're doing day in, day out that are making this goal achievable. Don't forget that. So hopefully this gave you a good guide into how to form simple daily habits that allow you to reach your main goals.